Hello, today is a very wonderful day. It's very good weather, and I've been thinking about something that I want to share with you guys, and it's about being authentic. And I see a lot of people here online talk about authenticity and how important it is to stay authentic, and that's very, very true. A big part of our suffering as people comes from not living an authentic life, which means living the lives that other wants you to live, or looking always outside to take this as an example of how you should live your life. And that's why there's rising depression. That's why you don't feel comfortable, because you're not living in your truest and your highest self would live. But nobody talks about the downsides and the dark sides of authenticity and staying true to yourself. And you know, I have experienced this. I always thought it was very important to stay authentic, no matter in which circumstances that you are. But what I realize now, guys, and I'm gonna tell you some personal story about myself so you have an insight, that a lot of people don't appreciate it. A lot of people don't appreciate authentic people. So I have studied business management. I have a degree in business management. Last year I finished my studies, and it's very difficult for me to find certain jobs, especially in the market here. And you know, of course, I understand that it's more difficult when you graduate, because then you are a junior, you're a junior, you don't have experience. So of course it's gonna be more and more difficult to find that first really good job. So I'm now actually currently looking at administration jobs because I like doing administration, and it's just currently what I'm looking for. So I applied, and then I go to my job interview, but then every time I think that my job interview went well, I come home and I don't actually hear back from the people of the company. And then I'm always wondering, like, okay, what have I said wrong? Where can I improve? Was it maybe my lack of experience in this area and this and that? And it was so difficult for me, guys, to find literally a job. It's so difficult. I have heard of people who were studying with me that they don't actually want to stop studying because they have heard rumors that it's difficult to get into the market, especially as someone who has graduated recently, that they are very strict on taking you. But I wanted to know, like, why is it for me so difficult? Because I have the skills. I have also kind of work experience in my student life with these kind of jobs. So I have all the experiences, and I'm also not going to go for a work, for example, that I know I couldn't handle. You know what I mean? So I'm always searching for the right thing. And then yesterday I got a call back from someone in between the companies, so the recruiter, and they said to me, look, they said your experience, and if you can handle the job, they would be 100% sure you could do it. And I was very enthusiastic. I'm like, okay, but then he's like, yeah, now it's gonna come. They said there's something about your personality that they don't like. And then I'm like, what exactly about my personality? And he says, and this is very funny, guys. It's so funny because I always thought this was the opposite. When you go to a job interview, this is very funny. So what he said is, they think you come off too strong and too confident, and they don't think you would fit into a team with a lot of introverts. And I'm like, okay, so do I need to improve myself? And then I'm like, what? I always, maybe it's me, but I always hear that when you go into a job interview, you need to put your best foot forward and present yourself professionally and be a little bit extroverted, be good with your words, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe this was one experience. But then I got a call back from the other one. They said you were nice. They said, like, the work experiences, you could answer everything very good, all the questions they had. But again, they said that there's something in the way I communicate, and also they said I come off too strong, too confident. And I'm like, okay, that means there is then something in me that I need to change, right? you know what I did? Then I record myself, and then I ask also people around me, my friends, my family members, okay, is there something about me, the way I communicate with you, that maybe seem offensive or something else? And they said, no, but you're just a confident person, and you just, when you talk, you are using your hands, you're very warm, you're this and that. I'm like, okay, but then why can't I get the job? So then I'm thinking like, okay, do I need to change something? And then the recruiter says, no, you need to always stay authentic, because if you're gonna change the way you are, if this is who you are, then what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up in an environment where you're gonna feel undervalued, where you're gonna get depressed because you're not being in your authentic self. But the thing is also, being authentic really comes at a price. You're gonna have a lot of people who are not gonna be satisfied, even in your family, even in your friends. Being truly authentic to who you are and knowing yourself, being very strong in your shoes, will trigger a lot of people, especially in the social situations. But it is worth it. You know why? Because you stay true to yourself. If you're not doing that, then you're giving all the power away to the people outside. And then you will keep doing that until the day you die, and you will have no energy left. You will have nothing built up for yourself, because you're way too much focused on what do they say, what do they think, what do I need to do for them. And then you lose yourself during the process. You lose your soul. Your soul will die. And then afterwards, your body. So this comes at a price. Just know that. And look, if you're in a situation and you have also these kind of struggles, this is my advice for you. As long as you're a respectful human being, but you're just true who you are, you will find an environment you will fit in. That job was then not for you, because there's other people out there who would appreciate your authenticity, who will not be threatened by the way you behave, who will not see this as a bad thing, who would see this actually as a power, as an asset. And it's also in friendships, you know. You will not go into a friendship not being your authentic self. That's why friendships are so beautiful, especially at a later age, because then people start to discover, who am I? And then you find people who fit you, who are a match. And these are long-lasting relationships, and you appreciate each other. Why? Because you're staying true to yourself. And this is very important. That's why you thrive in these kind of friendships. And the relationships, for example, that don't work out, a big part of it is because you're not being your authentic self. You're playing a role. And eventually, this will lead to a heartbreak, this will lead to a fallout, this will lead to all the negative things, the toxic things that come into a relationship. Again, this is not the only reason, but this plays a big part. It's very, very, very important to stay true to yourself and don't betray yourself. Of course, evolve, take criticism, evolve. But there comes a point that you're like, okay, but if I also do this, then I lose myself. No, there is a line. And yeah, it is hard. Maybe my road now, it will take longer, but at least the job that I will get, guys, will be something that I will fit into. They will appreciate the qualities that I have. They will appreciate the asset I can bring. They don't see this as a bad or threatening thing. They actually see this as a good thing. You want someone, but you stay authentic, and then this person doesn't like you. Okay, that's fine. That means that person doesn't fit you. You're gonna find people who appreciate you for who you are. And that's the beauty of life. And you will thrive. Believe me, you will thrive. And this is your reminder. If you're searching, if you're not finding the best relationship, if you're not finding the best work, wait, be patient, but stay true to yourself, and know that this road may be harder. This may be harder. It's harder than to fake a persona, of course, but you will reap the fruits. The prize that comes is gonna be magnificent. It's gonna be amazing. And the quality of life that comes with being authentic is just on a different level. You always carry the real self within you, and that is very important. As long as you don't harm other people, as long as you stay true to yourself, you should not change anything. And yes, you can be a chameleon to survive. You can always play roles, but believe it or not, eventually these people will not appreciate it because the mask will come off, and you will also be in a very low vibrational state by playing always other roles. And this is very tiring for your soul. So let this be a reminder, guys, that authenticity, it comes with a price, but this price is worth it. But just be aware, this is a harder road than being a fake person or being a sheep or following the crowd. But if you keep going in the road of being your authentic self, then there will be something magnificent and beautiful coming for you. Because I've never seen in my life people who are not following or not being their authentic self eventually ending up in a very, very good position. So yeah, this is also a reminder of me. Keep going, Tansy, keep going. And there is something that's gonna come, and it's gonna fit me so good, and I have full trust in it. Now I leave it, now I'll put it in the hands of God, and I will keep you updated, guys. Let this be a reminder for you that you are good enough. You don't need to constantly change. You can evolve for yourself. If you have problems within yourself, you can evolve, but don't change because of the environment constantly, because you're gonna lose yourself during that process. You're gonna lose yourself. The purpose of life you're gonna lose because you're losing you. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tansy. If you see this video and you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of content, of course, and we will see each other in the next video.